Well, it seems that I'm going head to head with Dirt Bike Test tonight, but I'm coming on earlier. What's it, 5:37? I thought I'd do a live broadcast here on YouTube and then just file it away as a podcast later on. But what I didn't expect is to be doing this with a broken arm. And we will get into that right here. Berm Cannon Berm Cannon Adventure Live. Well, welcome everybody. For all you new viewers who have subscribed here in the last couple months or the last year, welcome. I'm glad you found my channel, mainly because we're doing real adventure here. Real adventure. Getting lost, getting hurt, almost dying in the desert. That's what we do. And you've probably found my channel maybe because you're looking at a certain bike and realize that those videos are my fishing net. So, yeah, that's how I bring everybody in, is just do a video that just upsets people about certain motorcycles that they love. And then they find out, they're like, hey, this guy's not so bad. Yeah, so 2020 just keeps on giving, and trying to keep all of us are trying to keep our head above water mentally, and it just keeps dishing out just BS and bad vibes. So today we're going to be just give you guys kind of an overview so you can ditch out of here if you want. We're going to be talking about some of the comments, some of the trolls on YouTube and some of their comments. We'll address those. Also, we're going to be answering some of your questions too. So if you're viewing this live, go ahead and type them in, and then at towards the end of the show, I will start reading down them. So anything, bikes, Baja, California, surfing, we're going to hit that. And then also we'll talk about how I broke my arm, which right now you probably don't notice, but I cut the cast off. So I'm dangerous and I'm crazy like that. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. So let's get started. And first, we're going to start with the YouTube comments and questions, and then some of the trolls. And again, I'm doing this live thing. I got some things coming. I have my boy from K38 down in Baja. We're going to do a podcast here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk about, what's it like down there, and then maybe on how you can start your own adventure going there yourself. So that's something to look forward to. If you missed my last podcast, it was about history, industry stories of the old good times in the motorcycle power sports industry, and I go over how I pissed off the Racer X people and Davey Coombs, which good job to them nowadays. But we did cross paths, and it's a great story I like to tell. So that was on the last podcast. You can go check that out. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's see. So for the most part, I put up that Africa Twin versus the 650. And mainly I just do that. That was like a click video just to get everybody all hyped up, and it worked. I mean, I think it's up to 12,000 views now. Of course, my Africa Twin video just kind of it didn't really go anywhere. I don't know. And I think mainly because that's a big bike and it's expensive. And a lot of people ain't really rushing out to get that. But Here's Salty Tomo. Yes, it's what we've been waiting for almost the 700 Tenere, but I'm a Honda guy. The new Africa Twin is great, and had got to ride one, but it's too much BS. Honda needs to keep it simple and have a good fuel range and shocks, and I'm all about it. I'm in Australia, so we need the range, but the big red pig will never die. Thank you, Salty. All you 650 guys are just holding the line. Let's see here. Let's jump up here. So Superjet says 500 pounds plus, no thanks. I'll stick with my XR650R. The AT would be great for a long highway, mild off-road. It just reminds me of a street bike with knobbies. Great review and opinion, though. Yeah. I mean, but the Africa Twin is something that we all should have in our garage, mainly on the fact that when you really want to go far and kind of cover ground quicker, it is the better bet. Here we go. Jeff Death Rage. Get an electron carb for your 650 period. Won't be sorry. I am putting that all to bed unless Electron wants to sponsor where I come out. They can install that carb and we'll really put that thing to the test and see if it is really the great savior for the 650 flame out issues. But I don't plan on spending $1,000 on that carb and just to do that. Okay, so here's one of the haters I got this week, and this is Skip Walker. And before I kind of get into this, I share these all the time on my Instagram, and it's kind of funny. Some of my followers don't really get it. They're like, "Are you trying to show that you're, he's right?" Or the main purpose I share those hater comments on Instagram is to show you just kind of what the world is for doing YouTube stuff. There's millions of people on the planet, and we all have different opinions. We all watch YouTube in different times at different times of the day, and we're also in different moods at different times of the day. So what I've noticed now doing this for years is I think that number one, when I get somebody who goes off on me, they first of all are new to the channel. They haven't seen much of the videos. They just see one of these bike reviews and then they go off on how I'm all wrong and so forth. So I don't really hold it against them, but I think it's comical on some of the things that they're calling me out for. And it's good entertainment for you, right? It's good content to show my viewers. So Skip Walker says, when you keep this, and this is about the CRF 250L Rally, which now it's encroaching 300,000 views. He says, when you keep saying entry level and beginner, I know you are being paid to say that. What you say, you are ruining motorcycling for everyone. When you are this discriminative, you should be banned from motorcycle journalism. Not everyone wants to operate at 300%. We want to see things and experience them. So if you must belittle people who want to explore the world at an enjoyable pace, piss off. It's actually, this is a good one, actually. This guy, he took his time on that. Let's see, can I bring that up? I have no idea how to bring up the comments. Oh boy. What did I do? Um, so, okay, so let's break this down. However it comes across on that video, I had two major things I wanted to make sure I got across in the video, because when I ride these bikes, I take notes, and when thoughts enter my head, I write these down. And one thing that motorcycle journalism, okay, I'm only doing one hand, I can't lift this one, what they have failed to do for years, and those that are new to my channel, I've been around motorcycle journalism for 20 years, and I have a lot of friends who are motorcycle editors. And I am not a motorcycle journalist, okay? I'm a YouTuber, and the difference is I could say whatever I want and then the next day change my mind. It's YouTube land. Who cares? So in this video, what I was trying to do was I was trying to make sure I let everybody know that the CRF 250L is great for those people who have no experience, who are students. And I'm thinking about my own life, because I know students right now. I know young people. I know young women. Okay. I know people. Motorcyclists are very selfish. They tend to start thinking that everybody just knows how to grip it and rip it and go wherever and haul ass. And that's just not the case. And over again, I have seen people discriminate people who have no idea about the intricacies of motorcycling, the culture, the technicalities of it. So when I rode that CRF 250L, I'm like, this bike would be perfect for those people. Okay. And by the way, I don't know, this is not the first guy. I had a couple other ones where they're like, how dare you say that this bike is, doesn't have, it's not for this person or that person. All I am saying with that bike is it has a lot more broad spectrum. Okay, if you go fast and you're a wheelie king, you're a parking lot rider or whatever you do, this bike's for you too. But I wanted to make sure that it got to those people. And what you're saying is discriminative. I don't think I said that. I made sure that bike, everybody knew that it's a great beginner motorcycle. The only thing that's a beginner is going to deal with is the weight. But when they drop it, they'll figure out how to pick it up. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to pull up my overlays. I'm trying to oh, there you are. I just saw you. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, you guys watching right now, somebody asked me a question or something on YouTube. So I can see it and I can answer it. If you're watching on YouTube, shoot a question or give me a what's up so I could see it on my end to make sure this thing's working. Let's see here. I'll do this. Huh. All right, we'll continue here. So just want to make that straight with the 250L. That's a great bike. It's for everybody. And if you're a fast guy, I had one guy who goes, "Well, hey, I've been riding for 20 years and I think that bike's great." Well, if I said that it's underpowered, it's a little this, that doesn't mean you don't have to get it. Get it. But I'm just warning you that the power's low, and 90 100% of the time guys who are experienced complain about power. So so there's that. So he continues. Not everyone wants to operate at 300%. And I'm assuming that's what I just talked about. And I get that. But you should have the knowledge to know that if you want to ride a small pit bike around, you've already taken that into consideration. Okay? So, and then he says I belittled people in the video. I don't think I did that. If somebody can send that to me and show me where I belittled people, I didn't do that. Okay, we're going to move on. Let's see here. Podcast 4 concerning the Long Beach show. This is Oliver. He's a longtime follower. Don't overlook the F800GS used. It's a bargain, similar weight to the 790 and the T700. I like that, Oliver. Actually, this is when I rode that GS800 in the Lake Tahoe High Sierra Diaries. Go check those videos out. I liked the 800, and when I was riding it, I'm like, man, with all this new mid-size adventure bike coming out, I hope it's a lot like this because I could really ride this wherever. The only thing is with the Africa Twin now, that's a lot slender. So, but yeah, I mean, a used BMW 800 GSs, those bikes are so cool. Great for just having just to go around town and whatnot. David Bonzek, best videos on YouTube. Buying a clean XR650R this weekend. Can't wait to work on it. With all the things I've learned on your page, keep the Baja Diaries going, bro. Thanks, David. Enjoy your XR650R. You could have bought mine. I would have sold you mine. Rommel, love your videos. So informative and very beautiful footage. I just purchased a Yamaha XT250 dual sport and I want to go up to Kernville and hit some of those trails. Great narration, nice balance of riding and hanging out and relaxing, keeping up. And thanks, Rommel. I appreciate that. And that is the key to this channel. I actually, in my opinion, I want to do less bikes and I want to do more locations and places to go check out, and we'll see how that works out. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but 2020 has been a complete shit show, and I had so much. This new kind of series off of the Baja Diaries was going to be the surf, ride, and fish series. We were just going to surf, ride, and fish in Baja and just show you all that down there. And it all got canceled because of COVID. Thanks, COVID. All right. David comes back. I love all your videos. Hey, what do you think about the new 2021 Kawasaki 450 XC? I know it's just a KX450 with a kickstand and an electric start. I was hoping over the next few years it turns into something special. Is there any way you can find out more about it? And if Kawasaki will get into the cross-country scene with a new bad boy bike? Thanks, David, for the question. Here's the deal. And this is just based off my years of knowledge of how Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, and Suzuki, they all work. Japanese are very To Americans, they're very slow. But what it really is in their culture is they're very methodical. They're just engineers. They're very, let's do things correctly. And that's why we can throw rocks all day at Yamaha and Suzuki for these guys to get their act together and jump on what's hot. But this is just what happens. So with Kawasaki, it's weird because they they really made a good motocross bike, and I actually raced the later of my career. I raced a KX 450, and I thought it was awesome. Even though they copied a lot of the basis, um, or I should say the attributes from the 2007 2008 Honda Sierra 450. That's probably why I liked it. It felt like a Honda. And even for years, people would tell you is like whatever Honda or KTM makes, uh, Suzuki and Kawasaki will just copy it and just follow up and just grab more of those sales, you know. But this new Kawasaki 450 XC, I saw the press release. I kind of went over it, and it just didn't really hit home with me because it's not street legal. And in my mind, and, you know, and you guys will have a different opinion than me, but I live in Kami, California. So you know, riding anywhere now is kind of just, you know, I gotta I gotta drive an hour to get to ride somewhere, you know. Um, so I think that that XC needs to be plated somehow, and then let us take off all the crap, you know, like Enduro Life and Champion Motorsports, you know, Colton Udall. Go visit him. He actually does a lot of stuff with that 450L. They take off all the garbage. And then you pretty much have like a good off-road race bike with a license plate on it. And that's kind of what I'd want. Um, but to give us a bike that's just kind of an off-road bike, I still got to load it in my truck and then drive it out. And then for all you guys that live in different states where you guys are riding out of your backyards, I mean, I guess that could work too. But for me, I only can give you my opinion based on living in Kami, California. And I, trust me, I would love for them to make something to go up against the 450L. So yeah, make a 450, a KX 450 XCL licensed, you know, and we'll all be ranting and raving about it. Why isn't my comments working on YouTube? I have 9 people watching. Um, if you guys want to shoot a comment in that so I can see it, so I know it's working. Or if not, we're just not going to get questions from you guys here. Let's try this again. This is weird. Yeah, let's see here. This really sucks. Stand by here. Just I kind of put this all together half-assed, so you guys are going to have to. Hmm. That's so weird. I can't see you guys' comments from YouTube. Sucky. This sucks. Let me try something else here. I'm gonna go on YouTube and see if I can. This sucks. All right, I'm gonna fix this here real quick. Whatever, we're burning. This is so stupid. All right, give me 1 second. If you set this video for kids, then it shuts the comments off. So stupid. We'll fix this right now, because this show's gonna suck if let's see. So no, it's not made for kids. Let's try that. Okay. Sorry for this mess. But let's see if your guys' comments come up now. So you guys are watching. Try to shoot me a comment here. Is it still saying it's shut off? Oh, here we go. I think it's working now. All right. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can now send me a comment or question and we'll get to those. Okay. So let's go back. So where were we? So yeah, back to Kawasaki. I don't know. They're just late, and if they're just putting that out, maybe this is just to buy some time. Maybe they're going to come out with something next year. I do not know, David, but if that's the case, I would love to try one or get my hands on one to test. And then David asks another question. No, this is William Knight. What are your thoughts? Oaths versus the Yamaha WR250R. I used to have a WR250R, and I actually used to race that thing too. That was when they first came out. The first 4-stroke motor, the Yamaha technology that came in 2001. I bought one of those bikes. I was the first one to buy the WR250F. It had a decompression lever, and I loved that bike. And I think even if that bike was around today and that had a license plate on it, that'd be a good time. A definite Baja bike for sure. I have a XR650L, and it has a pipe plastic tank. I think it weighs like 345 pounds. I kind of wanted a lighter street bike for more off-road than my XR650L. I like my 650, but it's too big and tall and tight for off-road. Absolutely. I think you're on a good thinking path there, William. And here's what I did. I would get a 450L. That's kind of like a 250 WR250, but a little bit more power. And if you're listening, Yamaha, make a WR250 street legal. And if you have one and I don't know about it, then shame on me. Let's see here. Gilly watched an old video of my XR650R installing a cam. Nice video. What valve clearance did you use? I do the same mods on my 650, but I lost the piece of paper that had the valve clearances. I hope you can help me. I am not, and for all you guys watching, I am not a technical guy. That would be a dirt bike test Jimmy Lewis question. Or you go to a Honda dealer and you can simply just call them, and I'm sure they would give you those valve clearances over the phone. Everybody knows by now, watching my videos, I don't even carry tools. So I'm not the mechanic. My brother used to be a mechanic, though. Did lots of work for CT Racing, LA Sleeve, and he even did stuff for Mitch Payton back in the day. But now he is a firefighter because he was smart and he got out of this industry to make real money. The Royal Enfield Himalayan. I'd like to try that bike. I just don't know where to get one. I don't even know if there's a dealership here in SoCal that I can even go look at one. So I have nothing to say on that. And then here's on some of my camera gear. Throttle report. I feel you on charging your stuff every night. That and offloading all the SD cards to be ready for the next day. I wired a dual USB port charger on my KTM and leave a lightning cable in my hydration pack. Can't be caught with a dead phone in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, I think companies are going to make better, cooler stuff as technology is getting better. So we could just wait for all that. But I mean, in the old days, I was just carrying my phone with the Baja Diaries 1 through 10. I was just carrying my phone and doing everything just with my cell phone because budget, even still today, I have no budget. A lot of these guys, a lot of this Instagram stuff you see, you know, they all have budget. And there's a lot of guys who do cool things and I appreciate it and stuff, but they know how to get the money. They know how to get the backing. If I could somehow get a budget, I would hire some drone guys, camera guys, and make a better presentation of what I'm doing. But money, it just comes down to money because it's hard to get guys to go, hey, come down, ride for 5 days, and then just I'll give you a high five at the end. And for the life of me, I just can't find budget for that. So I just try to keep it simple. Freddie helps, and I just put together what I can when I get back. But it seems like you guys all enjoy it, so. Okay, so Robert, good job on this video. He's talking about the Africa Twin. Much respect for an honest review. Looking forward to the AT700. You got yourself a subscriber. Thanks, Robert. Again, all my videos, I don't get paid from Honda. I don't get paid from anybody. The only people that pay me is, and they support the channel is, LA Sleeve, Muck Off. And then I've had past guys come in for certain projects, STI Tires, and that's it. It's pretty much funded by me and my passion. So there's no reason I'm going to come on a video and give of a review on a bike and give you guys bullshit. Because it's just, that's not fun. There's tons of videos out there with guys who you can smell the corporate entity behind it, and you can smell the business aspects of the videos out there. And I think you guys know. And that's part of the problem. Maybe my channel has been so slow to grow because maybe people think it's just, it's a guy who's not really fully into it, but as soon as you start doing commercials and having paid advertisement, and then, I don't know, people just start maybe flowing to that more. So that does it for the comments from YouTube. I'll jump on the comments here with you guys live, but I'll tell you how I broke my arm. So I picked up the 2020 Honda CRF 450L, and Hacienda Gabe has been bugging me because he really loves Big Bear and Silverwood, which is like a mountain range over here in Southern California. And he loves going up there, and he likes just getting all sore. Me and Hacienda Gabe have a long history together. We actually used to do the endurance races at Glen Helen. We used to race those for years, 6 hour, 12 hour, multiple 24-hour attempts. And, he loves that stuff. So he's like, hey, let's go up there, Mind you, I've been sitting and doing nothing for the entire month of July. Okay. Literally sitting on the beach with, by the way, there's no waves here in Southern California. It's been driving me and my friends nuts. So no waves, just sitting, just doing some side work stuff. And I really just don't film or do any of that stuff in July. It's just for my family and my kids. And so I get this bike, and Gabe's all, hey, you want to go ride? I'm like, yeah, let's get back to work. Let's go shake this thing down, because I was going to leave to go to Mammoth and go shoot more High Sierra Diaries up there. And so we park, we set off, we go up into the mountain, and it's kind of weird riding a dual sport bike after months of riding like an adventure bike, because already my it was like sensory overload. There's like a lot of things going on. The tires, like, I'm sliding around corners a lot easier. I'm losing the back end. I got to get my throttle control, in control. And it's just like a lot going on. I'm like, wow, I'm using a lot of energy, and, so we're coming down into Silverwood, and we get separated because this has just been happening to us lately. I don't know. We try to talk about it, and it's just like, I think the older we're getting, we're just getting more, we're not focused, and we're just kind of like, and he was in front of me, and I was like, yeah, I'll meet him down by the lake. And I come down the hill, and the first, like, I had literally no time to react, but I did. You think that, here's one thing, like you develop quick reflexes from riding all your life. It never goes away, because I came around the corner, and coming full speed, running uphill at me, I'm coming downhill. And I wasn't going fast. I was probably just coasting with the clutch in, is a Chihuahua. And I look down, and I'm like, what? And so I'm going to hit him. I'm going to run him over. I grab all my front brake. I lean back, and I don't crash. I just kind of like slide. And then as I'm sliding into him, this pit bull comes running up, and I basically kind of run over the poodle, the Chihuahua, and my front tire comes to a halt, and I tap the pit bull on the nose with the front of the 450L. And as soon as I'm looking, I'm like, I'm sliding, I tap his nose. And as soon as I see the tire tap his nose, I just drop the throttle and gun it. Cause then they kind of like, they were, the look on the pit bull's face was, he's like totally shocked. Like, what just touched me on the nose? It's my tire, dude. I go around, and then there's off to the side, there's a lady hiking up this hill. And she has her hands up like, what are you doing? I'm like what? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm coming down a fire road. Like, and I'm not going fast. So I leave that. I didn't even stop. As I'm riding, I'm like, huh, this is kind of cool. Like, I have these my race reflexes ready to go right out of the gate. And I've just been riding adventure bikes because adventure bikes are just a lot more relaxed. You're not dealing with like, quick reflexes. So, we get up to kind of Deep Creek. We meander our way around the mountain. I don't know if you guys know where this is at, but we basically go backside of Big Bear, and it's like 90 degrees. And I know I keep telling myself this, and I'm really upset right now because I looked at the weather. It was supposed to be 85. Well, we ended up getting into like some hot weather. I don't handle that hot weather good anymore because of my situation in Baja. So I'm drained, and it just drains my energy. It drains my focus. And, and again, me and Gabe used to race works in Havasu when it's 105 degrees and do hour-long races and just come off and high five. But it's different when you're 40 and when you've had multiple cases of heat stroke. So I was pretty much done. We had lunch in Big Bear and we started coming back down, and Gabe picked some. He was leading the whole day, by the way. And it's like, where are we going? Oh, well, we'll go down. I think it goes here. I think it goes here. It's like, okay, it's like, all right, I'm down. Let's go. Well, what's it going to be? Is it just fire? Well, it might be a couple rock gardens, just like maybe one or two. All right, well, that seems fine. Let's do it. It's late in the day, and we've already been riding for 6 hours, and so we go, and we get to this one up by Crab Flats a little bit, and there's this one all the Jeeps go on, and they want to test out their rock crawling capabilities, and I start riding and I'm wiped out, and I just feel it. I'm like, I'm so tired right now. And I'm just like, man, it's just, I just shouldn't have did a 12-hour ride with Gabe, not in shape, and especially in the heat and dealing with that. So before lunch, by the way, I forgot to bring this up. I smashed my foot between a rock and the 450 through a rock garden earlier in the day. So I had a bum foot, and, so we're going down this rock, and so I stopped. We got to this one where it was just like the boulders were the size of like the size of the chair I'm sitting in, just everywhere. And you just had to pick a line, and we were 12 miles away from the main road. And I looked at them all like, really? I go, oh, we're not doing this. Like, I'm done. I mean, we'll come tomorrow. We'll come in the morning when I'm fresh, and we'll do rock garden boulders all day long, So we turned around, and I told him like, hey, and he's all, well, I want to try this one trail. Let's go back, and I'll meet you on 3N16, whatever that was, and then we'll head down to Deep Creek again. So we did that. We met back up. And we're coming down into Deep Creek, and I can't be specific on where it was, but it's basically a downhill with major boulders, smooth boulders, not like jagged rocks. And let's see, I'll try to do this from the angle of the camera, but this is the mountains. The mountain was like this, okay? And we were coming down it, and I was pretty much This is retarded, but whatever. Let's see. So this is my motorcycle. Okay, we're on the side of a hill going down. Okay, we're going down like this. Well, the front tire got stuck in a hole. And then I fell. Well, the bike started going like this down the hill. Well, I wasn't going to ride that out sitting on the seat. So I jumped off my bike while my bike went downhill this way. I was in front of my bike. I jumped off my bike and jumped down the hill that was filled with rock boulders. And I, luckily, with my ninja reflexes, I was able to first tap my feet, but, tap my feet here before I, like I fell down this way, hit my feet here, and then, hands first. And I've already shattered this wrist at Saddleback track 15 years ago. And I'm like, I'm never going to put my hands out again. Screw that. Because that's like pins and like you're like in a cast for like 4 months. You got to learn how to write with a pencil again. And ditch that. And I'm not going to do it. So I pretty much, as I put my hands down, I broke the fall a little bit and then hurry up and like kind of tuck and rolled. And then when I landed when I had my arm up, this one, up like this, I tucked it in. I basically came down and I heard a couple different crunches. I don't know if it was like, chiropractic, my back or whatever. So I got a radius fracture. I got the x-rays today. And 2020 keeps on giving. So, yeah, there was no way out of that. I'm just mad because trail riding shouldn't give you broken bones. Racing motorcycles should. And I have my fair share of those, but it's like, I'm just irritated because I could have, I don't know. It's what you go through when you break something and you try to go back and, relive it and maybe try to fix it, but it is what it is. But I'll tell you this, when I got to the doctors, they were like, so how'd you do it? I told them. They took the x-ray and they put me back in the room, and they had the screen there with my x-rays. I'm like, you know what? I bet you they're not going to let me take these x-rays home. So I got up, I took pictures of the x-rays, and sure enough, she comes in. She's all, sorry, I got really bad news. You have a fracture in your radius. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. She's all, excuse me? I'm like, I just don't want surgery. I go, I just don't want surgery. I'll have to do a podcast on when I broke my femur, and you guys will probably all sell your motorcycles after that one. But she's like, well, yeah, but it's still a broken bone. I'm all, no, you have no idea. I go, as long as I could just put it in a sling and I'll just not ride for 6 weeks, you don't know how much this is a blessing. She's just looking at me like I'm weird. So I go, hey, can I take a picture of that screen of my my arm? She goes, oh, no, that's illegal. Like there's law. And I'm all, well, wait a minute. I'm like, I didn't sign anything when I came in here. I just signed my check-in name, but you're taking a picture of my arm and you say I can't have it? Like, you're keeping this for you. This, like, when did I sign that off that you keep my x-rays and I can't get? And she goes, oh, well, you can get a CD, but you have to request it and then it comes in the mail. I'm all, what? Yeah, it's just like typical Stupid hospitals and their red tape. So then she's like, well, we're gonna, so you should go see a specialist because, get that opinion from a orthopedic, and they'll probably put you in a cast. And I'm all, no, we ain't doing that. She's like, well, okay, well, we're going to have to put you up in a soft cast here. And I'm all, no, I don't want that either. And so they talked me into it just because they don't want me walking out. And if something happens, then I can say, you didn't put me in a soft cast, and just, and I get all that. People have already sued the hospitals for lame stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, you can put me in it. And they put me in it, and I got home and I cut out of that. So I will be going seeing the orthopedic in a few days. She wanted me to go today, and I told her no. Because I know what they're going to do. They're going to try to hold me down and put a cast on me. This is how hospitals work. And again, when I smashed my wrist 20 years ago, I was dumb. I was like, just do whatever you can to fix it. But then you just start to kind of figure out that hospitals will take it all the way because you have insurance. They're going to take it all the way and make all the money they can. So they're going to go take you through processes. The more visits they can keep you coming back, it's all padding the bill. And we know that about coronavirus right now, right? We know about the more they can run up the bill, the better. So that's that. Let's do a question here. Here we go. It's from Dave. Hey, what's the deal with the border? Wanting to go to the 1,000. Living in Ohio, all I hear is rumors. Well, that's a great question, Dave. So here's kind of what I've been dealing with, because I had 7-8 trips planned in April, May, and June. They all got canceled. So in the beginning, my contacts down there, and I have about eight good ones, and they're Mexicans. They are residents, and there's a good balance of them. They give me my information to give me good feedback, and I trust them. A couple of them said, yeah, this is an overreaction. The expats are just complaining. They just don't want people bringing it to them because they're going to die down there. They're all living unhealthy anyways. And then but then that changed. It kind of okay, now the government's really locking down and putting a lot of restrictions on things. And in June, they were taking people's temperature. They weren't allowing tourists into certain towns. And for the most part, I get that. Because down there, they don't have hospitals like we do. You may have a town that just has a clinic and it has a nurse. It doesn't even have a doctor. So, and what's really funny about that, I actually got to visit a clinic down in Mulegé. And it's really a good system, actually, because, the Mexican people down there, the states are different. It's like a big car crash up here. There's things always happening. People are always getting hurt. There's car accidents and this and that. But when you're down in Baja, let's just say Mulegé, there's a lot of things sometimes, they don't really need the surgical arsenal like we do here in the States. So, you may just have a nurse just giving out Z-packs and bandages and doing stitching and stuff like that. And what's funny, the doctor in Mulegé actually went to school in Arizona. So a lot of these guys, because of our schooling and our colleges here, they come and learn in the States, and then they go back to their countries and they work for the government system. So as of right now, as of a week ago, people are slowly starting to go down there. But you're still going to come across temperature checks in certain towns. You may get pulled over to make sure you got masks. You, but it's open. The border's open. You can go down there, but their towns are implementing things just like the United States, and you're not going to get away from that. Now, as far as the Baja 1000, I assume it's not canceled because you're wanting to go, but they may cancel it. We'll just have to see here in the next couple weeks, and I will keep you guys up to date. I'm trying to get down there myself because I got videos and places I want to film, and poor Kelly at Baja Fishing. I mean, that was going to be probably the best Baja Diaries ever. But now I got to put that off, and I kind of feel bad because I was like just constantly in contact with him for like months, and then it just all fell through. So that's that. This podcast is brought to you by Ellie Sleeve and the guys down there. They are rebuilding cylinders. They rebuild XR650Rs, dirt bikes, quads, UTVs. They have a whole cylinder department where they do 4-stroke head mods. They are a complete engine builder's warehouse, so you can get 2-stroke stuff. They do stuff for NASCAR, automotive. Check them out, lasleeve.com. And also, if you guys don't already know, this is a recording of this podcast, and my podcast has been growing faster than my YouTube channel or my Instagram. And I don't get it. I mean, my voice is annoying, but it's growing, and I guess you guys like to hear the stuff that we're doing here, so I appreciate it. And it's you can hear it on, let me pull this up. Haven't used this in a while. Yeah, so you can hear this podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. So what that means is you have your phone and you go into the App Store and you download Spotify. You can download iHeartRadio, either or if you have an Apple phone, you could just pull up Apple Podcasts and then you search for that emblem right there, Berm Cannon Adventure. And then you can listen to these podcasts when you're driving to work or sitting in traffic, because I know TV sucks nowadays. Nobody wants to watch the news. So you can download the stuff, and I try to keep the variety going. It's not about bikes all the time. In fact, one of my most viewed or most listened to podcasts was with Chris Mills. And he is surfstrengthcoach.com. And he basically teaches old guys on how to kind of stay in shape for surfing and staying mobile. And what I liked about his interview is he kind of talked about, staying limber, eating better. And I think I'm going to have him back on because that's a lot of stuff that we can use today, whether you're in your late 20s, your 30s, or whatnot. Okay, so here we go. Here's the next one. This is from Kirk. Kirk, thanks for the question. So if you are selling your XR650R, what will be your bike for Baja? I just sold my XR650R, been riding a 19 450X, and just stopped riding the XR. The new 450X is my new Baja bike when it opens. Kirk, man, me and you, same brother from a different mother. This is kind of the route I may be going down. Originally, I was thinking of getting the 450L, but just kind of things happened and whatnot. And I've said this a lot, but I'll say it again. So the 650, part of me. I've been in this situation where it bugs me, but there's times where you break down, and there's times where, And when you're down in Baja, and you know this, Kirk, is sometimes you could be in the middle of nowhere and something can just go wrong, and then you got to like figure out on how to get your bike back. And we're my bike is coming up on 20 years old, and I look at it when I do my maintenance. It's very tip top, but is it something I want to go down to the tip in the next 5-10 years and be riding something like that? No. And it's just part of it. It's the same reason why if Johnny Campbell was riding the 650R, racing it in 2001 and winning Baja championships, it's the exact same reason why he wouldn't go back 20 years and be riding like a Yamaha IT 500 two-stroke, air-cooled. He just wouldn't do it. Eventually, these bikes get to a point where you're going to have to get something more reliable. And, I took that 650 up into Big Bear a couple months ago with Hacienda Gabe, and I seriously didn't have a good time. I just seriously had a horrible time with it. It was too big. And then it was flaming out still, so I'd have to kick. It was, I'm 43, so it's, I want something. I'm coming to the push button phase of my life. I used to make fun of Baja George all the time, like, you need to be a man and kick it. I used to talk so much smack, and now here I am. I'm getting older and I'm getting tired. I don't, and so to have something like a Yamaha Tenere or say a 450L with electric start that's light, I look forward to that. And I haven't sold my 650 yet, but it's coming to the time. And I may do one more trip down to Baja with it. My son wants it. He thinks it's just so cool, But I gotta give myself a peace of mind when I'm out there in the middle of nowhere, and having a bike to depend on. And don't get me wrong, don't think I'm not saying that the 650 is not dependable. I'm just saying that bikes get old, and like I was even looking at this, like the electrical tape and like just the wires are starting to turn, like they're getting brittle. Like, it's everything doesn't last forever. So, Kirk, to answer your question, I don't know for sure yet. I'm eyeballing the Tenere because I think the 450X, I like to ride across the border. And sometimes you'll get a good border patrol agent. They'll just allow you to. But most times you got to walk it back to your truck. So I don't know. I think I could do. I almost bought a 450X a couple months ago, a used one. But we'll see. I'm still looking, and we'll just see kind of how that all develops. But for you to pick the 450X is a great choice. Great choice. Okay, so couple comments here. Hi Joe. Hi guys. Long way down. Yeah, that's a thing I want to watch. I actually watched the original one. The only thing they're kind of getting bashed is Harley Davidson. They're on electric bikes, which is kind of weird. But they got paid a lot of money. I heard they each got paid like $5 million each just to go do the trip. And then the whole trip got expenses paid. Imagine that. Ian McGregor and the other guy, those guys, imagine that's like somebody coming to me and going, hey, do another Baja Diaries, but you got to ride an electric bike. I'd be like, no. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to give you $5 million. And then we're also going to pay for a film crew to do all the filming. You don't handle any of that. I mean, you can't really say no when the money's right, X-Country Adventures. Where are you from? Where he's asking where I'm from. Right here in Southern California, just outside of Los Angeles, on the tip south. So I like to say Orange County because LA County is a shithole. Let's see, Ruben, what's up? How are you doing, man? Here we go. Z Fast Joe, does LA Sleeve replate Nikasil cylinders? So they actually do. They don't do it here in house because California doesn't want you to do anything here. So they do Nikasil. You just have to give them a call. You know what? I should put their number up. But their number is, or you just go to their website. They have all that information there. It's lasleeve.com. And that is right there for you. See that? It's magic. I brought it up. Okay, next thing here. Yeah, X-Country Adventures. Yeah, thanks for tuning into the podcast. There's just kind of maybe another avenue I might be going down and doing other things, because there's other things maybe that we all can discuss and talk about and kind of do that kind of thing. But I will say that we do kind of go off topic of bikes. And that's kind of why I started it, just to kind of test the waters. But you guys, I've been getting growth out of that. All the podcasts do very well. I think I'm at just over 4,000 downloads as of starting it a couple months ago. So it's pretty good. Kirk is back at it here. I live in AZ, so plating an X is easy, not in Kami, California. Yeah, good for you, Kirk. I wish I had the balls and the bravery to move out of here. I just have too much family and network here. Born and raised, and 3 generations here in California. So it's kind of hard to get all your friends and family network and just leave. But people do it all the time. People live away from family all the time. But it's like, I don't know. I think it'd be cool. But then I think I'd miss it. But you know what? At this point, it's getting to the point where I'm just going to have to leave because I'm getting really tired of it. TK Moto. Glad to see some content, Berm. Pleasant surprise in Chicago, but from Costa Mesa area with family still in the area. Wow. I love Costa Mesa. And I'm in Costa Mesa a couple times a month, mainly just from surfing. I'll drive through there and I'll get sidecar donuts. And yeah, that's cool to know. But you're living in Chicago. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy. I mean, Chicago's like, what do they call Chicago? They call it like Pakistan. Is that kind of how it is there? Or are you in a good part of Chicago? So one of the other things that I've been noticing, or I'm shopping for a new helmet. If anybody knows or has an idea, I got some recommendations of some new helmet companies. The helmet I have right now is done. And I'm going to be ditching that. So if you guys have any ideas, go ahead and put them in the comments. I've looked at Shoei, I've looked at Bell and stuff. But if there's any out-rigging helmet companies, I'm going to be changing my helmet. And I'm going to be buying the helmet because I'm going to end up painting it. Because Jimmy asked me that the other week. He's like, what's with your helmet? Why is it all like a mess with paint? And because I'm not a billboard, and I'm not going to roll that way. I'm just going to paint over all the logos so you guys know that I'm legit. And so I'm a real YouTuber, not a commercial for other companies. So there's that. Let's see here. Z Fast Joe, we're neighbors, Berm. I live by Disneyland. Yeah, cool, Joe. Was supposed to take my kids to Disneyland this year because we go once every 10 years. That's what we do in SoCal. Locals only go like once every 10 or 15 years. Um, but now it's closed, so I don't know how they're going to figure that out. TK Moto, never been to Baja, but it's a dream for a long time. Hopefully next year or so. So, TK, I did some videos. If you go look at them, I did one in a truck, and I'm going to be doing more of those because I can't carry everything. This whole series that I plan to do, surf, ride, and fish, I plan to do a few in a truck, and it'll give people. I think if you've never been down there, and we're gonna have Steven on from K38, okay, and we're gonna have him on the podcast in a couple weeks. I think the first experience should be in a car, and we can map that out for you on that podcast. And go to K38 for the day. Like, don't go stay overnight. Like, if you want to just wet your feet, go to K38 for the day. Or maybe go to Coyote Cowles for overnight. And I think I'm going to build that out for you on the next podcast with Steven and K38. That way you go, you kind of don't have a lot on your plate, and you can kind of start easing into Baja. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. And Baja's a great place. And for all this, this propaganda, some of it's true, but then a lot of it is in perspective. You don't want to be going to TJ in the middle of the night and parking your brand new Africa Twin on the street. And, it's common sense stuff that will keep you safe, just like anywhere in the United States. And that's how Baja George taught me. And we've had good experiences down there. Yeah, I've had experiences with cops, but it's not do or die stuff, and I've always been told by my contacts down there and experiencing, the worst is always just drug addicts. Drug addicts are going to kill and steal and commit crime no matter where they are in the world because they're on drugs. And you're going to have some of that down there, just like we have that here in the States. So that's kind of the deal. Yeah. So going back to... yeah, TK says Chicago is Chirac. But yeah, he says he's outside of the burbs, much safer. 6-hour drive for decent riding, looking to relocate to Arizona with other family. Yeah, Arizona is really a mecca for off-roaders. There's just 2 months out of the year where you can't ride because it's 120. But a lot of people, when I was racing a lot of racers are from there. And, depending on where you live in Arizona, you could just ride out of your garage with no license plate, or they will plate bikes in Arizona easy, way easier than California. And you can get your carry permit, so you can carry a pistol with you too, like the old West. Kirk is saying that the Fly Formula Carbon, better than Shoei's I've had before. So much lighter and with a new impact technology. I'll check that out, actually, Fly. I wonder if they make the shield, though, because I have a moto helmet right now. It's the 6D, and it's my buddy Bob's company, Bob Weber. He started that company with a partner, and they're doing very well. Because I like that shield that comes down. I don't know if you guys ever have put on a helmet and rode with that off-road. It's a game changer. It's like looking out a huge bay window. You actually have better circulation because you don't have goggles pressed up on your face. It's just like sitting back in a big spaceship with a big window. Um, that's why I like those helmets. And another thing too, I wish these helmets would make more lens variations, because sometimes you're staring into the sun for like 2 hours on a highway. Like, who wants a clear lens? You know. Let's see. How's my Spanish? Joe asks, how's my Spanish? My Spanish is gringo Spanish, so poquito. Um, and for the most part, my Spanish is just what I call like moving around Spanish. So asking like for food, drinks, uh, where to go, directions. And I learned my Spanish. I have a couple buddies here in the States that speak Spanish. I learn from them. And actually, once a year, I actually write out things I want to learn how to say, and I give it to them, and then they give it to me back in Spanish, and I learn certain sayings. Um, but for the most part, I learn Spanish even more when I'm down there in Baja. It's amazing. Saturation in another country, when everybody's speaking one language, you learn real quick. There's no playing games, and you don't even have to even know. They'll teach you down there. Um, but I try to build my vocabulary as much as I can. And again, life's busy, and I'm like anybody else, but I try to build it before trips and kind of go that route. Kirk says, once you get 30 miles south of the border, Baja's very friendly. New trucks, bikes are okay. Just don't be stupid and leave your brain at the border. Yeah, Kirk, you got it. That's exactly. And, it's always, I still run into him, probably like you do down there, is the guy who's pounding tequila and it's 100 degrees outside. And then, then he's trying to navigate a place that he's never been before. And you get those guys and you're just like, dude. So yeah, that's for sure. Z-Fast Joe, one more question. I think you said you were going to get a XR650L a while back. Is it true? I've ridden a ton of bikes, and that is my favorite of all time. Yeah, so actually, Joe, I've actually used to hammer on guys that owned XR650Ls, but that was when the 650R was available. That was back in my racing days. And I'm like, why would somebody buy the street version of this bike? This bike's the hot rod. The R was the hot rod. And, I kind of was talking a lot of smack. So you may find a recording or a video where I talk shit on that. But forgive me. I'm growing up, okay? We're all growing up, and I actually think the XR650L, which is street legal, is a great bike to just go around town, travel. I do think it's very outdated, but you'll notice these last couple months, we're hoping for a 800cc Africa Twin. But the problem is they make so much money on those XR650Ls because they sell them all over the world in all kinds of countries, and they've been making that bike since 2000. So I'd like to see their pink sheets on how many bikes they've actually sold of that. And if you don't know the difference between the R and the L, there's a lot of differences. The R is a little lighter, plastic tank, no electric start. It just was made to go off road, and it was a desert bike. It was awesome. TK is also asking, do you have any insight, or are you just dreaming? Well, I'm dreaming, but watching how these guys come out with bikes over the years, they did two things that were kind of weird to the new Africa Twin. this is how they lightened the bike up and they made it more agile, like off-road. They changed the swing arm, and then they changed the subframe. It kind of has this mid-level adventure bike swing arm and subframe, and the chain. They went to a chain thing. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's weird. Why would they do that just for that model? To really so this is how they work. This is what I think they're going to do. They're going to make that 700 or 800 Africa Twin, and it's going to share those parts because that makes better profit on the back end. So that's what we're hoping for. And if it does come out, it'll be badass. Yeah, dropped in full. Yeah, hey, what's up? Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. And let's see, where are we at with time-wise here? This was a good hour and 20. So I think we'll kind of end it if you got nothing else. And I will say we got new hats in the store. Let's see. See, you guys see this one? New hats in the store. I have a couple different designs, and I actually got a donation in my GoFundMe account, which I haven't used in 2 years. I originally started a GoFundMe account for the High Sierra Diaries, and I did get backing for that. I got some new camera equipment, but I was like, I don't want to be that guy that has that. So I wanted to make merchandise because it kind of gives you something, and then the small profit I get off a t-shirt or a hat, I kind of just use that for like just gear and supplies and stuff like that. So for you guys that want to support the channel, going to the store, you can look at any of my videos and get a link to it. Or you can go to bermcannon.com/adventure. And there you can actually listen to podcasts, link to the store and all that stuff. You can also follow me on Instagram, which I'm at Baja Diaries with that right here at the bottom of the page. I'm off TikTok. What a joke that was. And I'm on Twitter, and Twitter is I still put my videos out on that. And I'm also on, can't really think of it right now. I'm also on Parler. So you guys that know what Parler is, I'm on there too. You can find me, Berm Cannon Adventure. So that being said, with my broken arm, and dealing with that, I'm still going to try to put out content. Maybe I'm going to go up to Mammoth and just shoot just places to go visit and see. So stay tuned to that. However, if you love Fire Freddy is going to be shooting a bunch of stuff on his Colorado trip. He's leaving Thursday, so go to Instagram, request the follow, and you can follow it in the stories. And he's going to be riding his KTM 790 to Colorado and back. So he's fun to watch, and we love Fire Freddy. So okay, that's it. We will talk to you guys later, and thanks again. Share my videos with your friends and your family, and we'll see you on the next one.